With the DNC going on this week, we're finding a little bit more through these speeches about what Joe Biden and Kamala Harris would like to do as president and vice president. But remember that behind the scenes and sort of working in tandem, you also have the Democratic Party working on their platform. So what's in it, what's not in it? And should different representatives and senators actually support it? We're gonna be joined now by one who is voting against that platform. Joining us once again on the show, Congressman Khanna. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me back.
Very glad to have you on, always. You announced about a week ago, and you wrote an op-ed about why you wouldn't be supporting that platform. Can you summarize some of your main points?
It's simple. Millions of people are losing their jobs. They shouldn't lose healthcare. If there's any time where we should realize that your dignity, your ability to get basic healthcare should be connected to what job you have, it's now in the midst of the pandemic. And what I'm saying is we need to go back to our roots. This was part of our party platform, Medicare for everyone, up till 1980, up till the Reagan Revolution stripped it. We need to go back and stand for that as a party.
Wow, I actually had not known that it was part of the formal platform up until then. It would be interesting to speculate about what happened in the party between that time period and change that. When you come out with the decision to not support the party platform, are you worried about and have you experienced any strike back from the party?
Well, just a brief history. I mean, Ted Kennedy proposed single payer or expanding Medicare for all in '72. Carter ran on it in '76. In fact, the irony is Carter had to take the position of expanding Medicare to get labor on board. The AFL-CIO wasn't going to support Carter if he didn't do that, and he won. So this idea that you can't win on Medicare for all is just wrong. And Ted Kennedy's whole 1980 primary challenge was over the fact that Carter didn't deliver on Medicare for all, and it was stripped largely because of fear of the Reagan Revolution. So I think the history is important to realize that what we're asking for is not something very new. We're just asking to go back to what the platform was from FDR and Truman. But to your point, yes, you do face some blowback, and if you're simply a careerist and simply want to score points with people in charge, then it's probably best to not ruffle feathers. But my view is, in the long run, if you stand for conviction, people respect that.
So I have my views, obviously, about the platform, how it's drafted, who has influence. But as someone who's much more obviously involved in this, I'm curious about the mismatch that could have resulted. Let's say that the party had included a call for Medicare for all, but obviously the nominee does not support Medicare for all. In fact, he said in at least one interview that if it came to his desk, he would veto it. So he's against it as much as a president could potentially be. Do you think that might have been part of the decision to not include it, that the party needs to appear to be in step in terms of its policy priorities with the nominee?
That could have been, but I think that's a mistake. I don't think that one person should define an entire party. I feel the same way if Bernie Sanders had won the nomination. I think the party should stand for basic things. Medicare for all should be part of what we stand for. If a candidate wins the nomination and disagrees with part of the platform, that's their right. I never have said that Joe Biden needs to adopt Medicare for all as his campaign platform. He won the primary, we lost the primary. He's entitled to run on whatever he sees as his vision. But that shouldn't bind the millions of people who are Democrats who overwhelmingly won Medicare for all. And we should have a strong, robust party platform and then allow candidates to say, here's where I agree and here's where I disagree.
And since you published your op-ed through Common Dreams about your decision, we've had another sort of mismatch between the platform and the nominee, and that is that the platform committee has decided to drop its pledge to end fossil fuel subsidies, which seems like an insane decision to make considering all the activism that's been done around climate change in the past few years. But in response to that, the Biden campaign has come out and said that they still support the dropping of those subsidies. Why then would the party decide to change its mind on that?
That is mind-boggling to me. I mean, I can't imagine that doesn't poll 90 to 10. I mean, who wants to have US taxpayer dollars subsidizing fossil fuels? What we ought to be doing is subsidizing clean energy, because there's no price factored in of carbon right now. So I think these are lobbyist interests and old guard interests that still have sway in our party, and it's hurting us. It's hurting our populist appeal. I mean, the irony is we're going to get attacked as being against oil and gas by Trump anyway. So we might as well get the benefit of being for a new vision and a vision that supports clean energy. But to be in a no man's land is where the platform is ending up.
Yeah, Biden is being attacked by Trump as a far left radical, like in the pocket of AOC and Antifa. So he should feel free to do anything he wants. And this is not a surprise. We were predicting this during the race when one of the attacks against Bernie Sanders was he will be tarred as a socialist. No, that's what they do to everyone. If it was Pete Buttigieg, he would be a radical socialist too at this point, at least according to them.
Yeah, it's mine. I don't understand because they do that to any one of our nominees. So any one of our nominees is going to have to fight that, which are often lies, but they're going to have to fight that. But so you might as well then get the benefit of mobilizing our base and doing things for people. So you could say, okay, yeah, but you're going to get healthcare, you're going to get a free college, and this socialism stuff is ridiculous. I'm not a socialist, but instead we just say the socialism stuff is ridiculous, and we don't have the affirmative part. So it seems to me just bad politics.
And all of this is going on during the DNC. I've only been to one, the last one in 2016. This is obviously a very different event. As you've been watching it, do you think that is it accomplishing its goals? Is it doing what it can considering the terrible circumstances?
Well, I think some of it has been very good. I mean, I think the personal testimonials from individuals have been good. I thought the way they did the roll call was good. I thought Obama's speech was very compelling, and Kamala's personal story was compelling. But I think we need to have more of a policy agenda, in my view. Ultimately, policy does matter, and what is our vision for the future, and what are a few specifics? I think the calculation is to appeal to people on an emotional level, on a spiritual level. And that's all good. That's necessary, but I don't think it's sufficient. We have to talk about meat and potatoes. How are we going to specifically improve people's lives who've been left behind, who've been upset at the system for the last 20 years? What are we going to do for them?
And obviously, I'm excited to see what's going to end up happening with Biden's speech. I'm sure you'll be watching along as well. For more political news, breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.